She failed the moose test.
Welcome back to TFLcar's holiday special. This is part 2, and we've got a few more questions here, and then we're going to talk about our favorite cars that we saw in 2014, and maybe our favorite cars that we didn't get to see in 2014.
Agreed, and these are your questions. You sent these in, and so we're trying to answer them. All right, Emmy, go for it.
Which truck would you buy for $60,000?
Raptor.
Raptor.
Great. Favorite family car under $30,000?
Used Raptor.
Used Raptor.
Used Raptor.
Best pickup truck?
Yeah, you know.
Raptor.
Raptor.
Okay, Wrangler Unlimited or Ford Raptor? I can't make that choice. I cannot make that choice.
Hey, how many motorcycles can you carry in a Wrangler Unlimited?
You could probably carry 2. I bet you could. I saw a picture of a motorcycle inside a Miata, so you can carry 2 motorcycles in a Wrangler.
No more Miata stuff. Next question.
Okay.
I am as excited as a little girl. Last time we got together and talked about the TFL Project Raptor, I was in Detroit, Michigan, where it had just been built. Well, it's a few weeks later, and we are here at Siltahar Motors in Colorado, a dealership, by the way, where I've purchased now 3 vehicles, and they've treated me very well. And here it is. It's there. There it is. There is the new TFL Ford Raptor, and it is blue. Why blue? Because it looks badass. Let's go inside. Come on, let's check it out. What a cool looking truck. I can't believe that we're going to have this thing for testing for the next year, 2 years, or even longer. Now, we got the Raptor because, well, let's face it, it's a Ferrari of trucks.
Okay, here's a good one. Are Hyundai and Kias good cars?
They're getting much better. Every year they improve.
Yeah.
They're one of the few companies that have improved every single year that they've been in the United States.
And they provide so much value. You get so much bang for your buck as far as standard features
Yep.
that are available in a Kia and a Hyundai that you have to pay extra for in some of the other brands.
Yeah, it's incredible. You can get heated rear seats,
Right.
massive sunroofs, every conceivable creature comfort for under $20,000. It blows me away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
kinda
it's good because you know what, like Porsche does, right? They just nickel and dime you for
Right.
every little thing. And Hyundai and Kia have the exact opposite approach. They throw in everything, and so for $20K you get all the
Yeah.
stuff that you would pay tens of thousands more in other cars.
And they don't look bad either.
no,
They're
no.
looking real sharp.
I especially like Kias
Oh, yeah.
with the former designer of Audi doing
yeah.
their stuff now.
Yeah.
Let's see, next question. Can you test exotics?
Sure.
And I totally have that ability to test an exotic car. Like that.
Yeah, like that. Getting exotics is tricky, you know. It's part of the press fleet in California, but there's not a lot of exotics in the press fleet in Denver or in Washington.
Now, we
No.
can hang by the stadium and go and steal one of those cars and drive it around and give it back to the football players, but otherwise, it's difficult to get those types of cars
Yeah.
here.
And we can, we've gotten a few cars. I have some friends in the auto business, so we have gotten some cars like the Maserati from a local dealership. But it's problematic because we only get the car for a very short amount of time and can drive it for a short amount of miles, and it doesn't give a real fair assessment
Yeah.
of that car. So
Yeah.
we don't do it.
Yeah. Favorite car brand?
Ooh, that's a really good one. Nathan, I'll let you start with that one while I think about it.
I like Alfa Romeo. I know there are not a lot of them in the United States, and they stopped
It's
selling
like
here
what you
years
can't
ago.
get.
Well, but we'll see what happens with this Miata Alpha because Miata.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, I'm not going to let you get away
Four-seat.
with that. Pick a car brand that's here that you can buy.
Well, I'll say probably Chrysler LLC, because I do like a few of the vehicles. I like the trucks. I like the Jeeps. I like the Dart, even though you hate it.
And you like the Challenger and
And I
Charger?
love the Challenger. Oh, I love
so
it.
pretty.
So there are a lot of cars that they build that I currently like. With that said, I like almost every brand has something I like and something I don't like.
Yeah, definitely.
Emmy, how about you?
Well, I mean, as much as I like Mazda because of Miata, I'm really a big Volkswagen enthusiast, although I go more towards the old school air-cooled Volkswagen since that's what I race and that's kind of what I grew up on. So,
You know,
where I'm at.
Volkswagen's struggling right now. They just lost their CEO, and part of the reason for that is they haven't had any new vehicles. New cars are the lifeblood of any car company, and if you don't have new car products, then Tommy's holding up a sign that says Velorex, which is a Czech brand that was sold to invalids. I'm not making that up.
To invalids?
Yeah. I can tell you this. I'll tell you the story. So there was a Czech entrepreneur who had a bicycle and was riding it in the snow and thought to himself, and this is in the 60s, thought to himself, bikes aren't good in the snow, and he's right. So he thought, well, I'll create a 3-wheeled car.
Okay.
And he built this frame and put a 2-stroke Java, which is a Czech motorcycle engine, in the back of it, and covered it in denim. Basically, the stuffing of jeans, which later became leather. So it's one of the only cars covered in leather. But the problem was that in the Czech Republic, you could not be a privately owned company. It was a socialist state. And so the only way that he could actually sell them was to sell them to, and this is the real world. We wouldn't call them invalids here, but that's what they were marketed to in the Czech Republic.
Really?
Unbelievable.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, a car pro invalidní lidi.
Okay.
All right.
We have a question here about the 2014 Mazda 3. The nav screen is up on the top. People want to know, can it be stolen?
Well, sure, you could break it off and run away with it, but all of the important controls are actually embedded in the dash,
Yeah.
I believe. I think it's just a display screen. So if you wanted to get yourself a cheap monitor, I guess you could snap it off and run away with it, but it's in there pretty tight.
And I think that's a good transition. Let me go to the questions that weren't asked, but questions we thought you might be interested in.
Yes.
So, number one question, Nathan, and this will go to you. What is the best car that you drove in 2013?
In 2013.
Yes, 2013.
How about the Camaro ZL1? That was fantastic.
Well, that's because
That was 2013.
No, but that was because that goes with your personality. You love that kind of
Well, yeah, but then
muscle
that's...
car.
But it's a perfect car. It gets great gas mileage. You leave it in neutral and you go down a hill, no problem. It's got a small trunk, but it has a trunk. You can hold almost 4 people. It's a great car.
How about the Focus ST? You were all...
It was really good. The Focus ST was fantastic, but the Camaro...
how about the Mazda 3? You like that too?
The Mazda 3 is a
is good.
fantastic little car, especially with the 2.5-liter engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in the Mazda 3 just for a tiny, tiny little bit. It was great. It was really good. And it doesn't have the hydraulic power steering like the Miata does, but even with the electric, it still feels like you're really, really connected to the road. And I
Yeah,
really
they're
like
really
that.
good at that at
yeah.
Mazda, I
Yeah,
agree.
their steering is awesome.
Now, I was lucky enough to drive both the F-Type and the Corvette, the new C7, and they're both phenomenal vehicles. You could flip a coin and ask you which one is better. I think you probably get a little bit more value for the Corvette just because
It's
a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
It's a lot
Performance
cheaper.
is monstrous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the performance is right up there with the Jaguar. So sexiness,
Jag.
Jag. It's hot.
value, Corvette.
Yeah.
Engine though, both are different and both
They're
are
very
phenomenal.
very different, yeah.
So I think just because I'm a cheapskate, I'd go with the Corvette. I just think you get more bang for your money right now. But both of those are terrific cars.
Well, I have to mention the 2014 Cayman
Yes.
because that was
Mention it.
awesome. 2014 Cayman was awesome. Cayman S actually. It's still, I know that it's not the most powerful Porsche in the lineup, but the mid-engine just makes it so balanced and it handles so well through the turns that I didn't even really care that I didn't have as much power as, say, a 911 turbo. It was so much fun. It was connected and it was an emotional response for me. I loved it. And
Hey.
it's sexy.
One of the other cars that was sexy is the BMW 4 Series, but we didn't get to drive it, didn't we, Andre?
So what are some other cars this year that we didn't get to drive that we really wanted to?
Yes.
Yeah, there
let's
you
talk
go.
about those.
There's a big
Here's a little
list
bit of a
here.
list. Go for it,
Yeah,
Nathan.
well, actually, can I go first?
Yes,
because
please.
Fiesta ST, I want to drive that car so badly because I really like the Focus ST, but again, I'm all about smaller cars.
4, you listening?
I'm all about smaller cars, so I really want to get into the Fiesta ST and just see what she can do.
Nathan?
Yeah, the Chevy SS. For crying out loud, please let us drive it. Please.
The CLA, it's an important vehicle for Mercedes.
Mercedes-Benz, it's a very important car, and our major demographic happens to gravitate towards vehicles like that.
And there's a lot of cars like the Porsche 918.
I can't believe we didn't get invited to that launch.
know.
I mean, my gosh.
Really.
I know, you read about them in the car magazines, you see them on YouTube, and we can't get anywhere near those cars.
No.
We need more of you to watch.
So that we can drive the Porsche 918.
What else do we got there that we haven't driven yet that we really should?
Somebody wrote down Toyota Corolla. Is that
No,
something
he drove it, Nathan drove it.
I was going to say, did you want to drive that?
I didn't put that on there. That's Roman's writing.
No, that's Tommy's writing.
Okay, Tommy, damn you.
Now, you guys weren't in any other Porsche
No.
besides the Cayman?
No.
Nothing?
No, we don't get many Porsches here.
We had a
Ah.
GTS, but that was a 2012, I think.
So let me
That's
tell you
sad.
a car that I drove, which absolutely kind of astounded me, and that was the new E-Class with the technology package. And what's so cool about that car, I think, is it's the next step in autonomous driving. And there used to be all these different systems, and there still are in many cars, that you can turn on and basically mimic autonomous driving, right? You can turn on like lane departure warning, you can turn on cruise control that varies based
Yeah, the
on the car.
adaptive cruise
Adaptive cruise control. You can turn on traction control, launch control.
And the braking, or like
And the
emergency braking
emergency
stuff.
braking.
Yeah.
And what Mercedes did, which was so brilliant, guys, was they took all that and put it into one little stalk at the end of the cruise control stalk. So you, on the Mercedes, it's got that cruise control stalk that we keep using as a turn
As a
signal.
turn signal, because the Germans know it's 9 and 3, and we're like, no, 10 and 2, 9 and 3, 10 and 2.
And so you activate that, and under 18 miles an hour, the car will absolutely drive itself.
But it will drive itself like in a straight line. It's
No,
not
no,
gonna,
no, no. It'll drive itself any way the road goes, anywhere you want.
But not if I want to make a
Yes.
turn
Yes,
from
yes.
Arapahoe to Broadway.
Under 18 miles an hour, it'll follow the car in front of you. It
Follow
won't
the car in front of you, okay,
So if you're in
okay.
stop and go traffic, which sucks to drive in, right?
Right.
It's perfect. You just turn it on and you sit back and you look at all the other suckers.
And then everyone's like, you're texting. Why are you being such a distracted driver? You're like, hey, I'm not driving.
And as cool as you think it is, I am absolutely horrified and terrified of that type of technology. We're one step away from them creeping into our toasters and having those things sneak into our bedroom and throttle us in our sleep. I really don't trust technology that much. I don't. I don't want to put my life in any car's hands. It's just weird to me.
Yeah,
So-
I think we got to that next part here, the next thing in 2014. That's where we're
Yeah.
at right now. And
Yeah.
here's my belief. I think that when I come home from a long trip and I get to the airport parking lot and I want to just get home, I would love to have an autonomous car, right? Hit a button, it takes me home. But here's my biggest fear. What will happen is, because most car accidents are human error, like airplane accidents.
Yep.
Governments will figure that out, and somebody will say, you know what, autonomous cars are 99% safer, which they will be. They'll say, if you want to come into New York, Chicago, London, you have to set your car to fully autonomous. And the road ends in Montana where you go and pay $500 to drive a car in a park,
Right,
where
right.
everything else is autonomous. And that's the way it's going to end up, because people are going to figure out it's safer, it's more fuel efficient, it's more open to everybody, because you don't have to know how to drive, right? You just sit in the
Why
car.
are we talking about this then? We got to keep this a secret.
No, because that's where it's going.
See, hopefully
really-
software updates will screw everything up and everybody's going to have like meltdowns and it'll be anarchy, zombies will take over. It's going to be so awesome. You just have to have the right attitude towards these things. Here's my future forecast, and I hate to say it, folks. Continuously variable transmissions seem to proliferate everything that's out there, and it's going to continue. And
But tell us why, because
Well,
there,
I'll tell you
there
why
is
is-
a method behind that.
fuel economy primarily, fuel economy. Also, we're talking about something that has less moving parts than a regular transmission, simpler to build. Eventually, it's going to be much, much lighter. And, they're using them now on cars that have a lot of power, including a sports car like the WRX, which I sampled. And, unfortunately, I hate to say it, it worked really, really well. I wouldn't buy it, but it worked really, really well.
I mean, do you see a trend that's coming down the road?
I wasn't prepared for that.
I was going to help you out. I was going to say,
Yeah,
like,
can you help me out?
like British roadsters that are redone in Japanese factories.
Okay, well, actually, yeah.
Go for it.
Start again.
All right, Emmy, do you see a trend that's coming down the road?
Okay, here's what I hope for.
Okay.
I hope for you're gonna have the autonomous cars. That's gonna be like the base, right?
Right.
I'm hoping for a complete opposite reaction to that, where we're gonna start getting more and more driverless cars, more and
BRZ.
more like the BRZ,
FRS.
things like the BRZ, the FRS, this new Alpha 4C when this comes out. Oh my God! I mean, it's not offered in a manual, but good Lord, is that thing sex on a stick? It looks so incredible. So I'm just hoping that while you get these technologies that will take the human element out of it, I hope that some manufacturers answer with a car that is purely driven by humans.
I think there are probably two more trends that are getting sorted out. Number one is technology, right? Cars are becoming more and more interconnected. And I remember for a long time I had like a regular cell phone, and then Apple came out with a smartphone. I
And
said,
you're like, how did I live without this?
yeah, exactly. And we're kind of before the smartphone age right now. We're there, and nobody's figured it out yet. iDrive, sync, it all kind of sort of works, but it's not intuitive. So we need somebody to come along and actually put all those pieces together. And I think actually Tesla is as close as I've seen with that huge screen that controls everything. That's easy, that's pretty user-friendly.
Right.
And I disagree with that because I think it's oversized and it's just too much information that you're looking at. I think the General Motors got it with the Chevy Spark. You take your iPhone, you basically plug it into the system,
Good idea.
and everything runs right through the car exactly like it would on your iPhone. Everything's right there. Simple, simple electronics.
And the last word, go ahead.
The last word?
The last word, one word, turbo.
Yeah, turbo.
Yeah, everybody's going towards turbo. It's taken a while, hasn't it?
It has.
Yeah, but I mean, with all of the emission standards and MPG standards that we're having to meet, turbo is the way to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I think we have one more question that everyone really, really, really wants to know.
No, let's save that for a second.
No? Oh, okay.
We do have one more question, but
Okay.
first we have to wish our. Oh, just bring it over here, Tommy.
Tommy's like,
If they see
I
your
can't
arm,
get
it's
in
going to
the
be
shot.
okay.
First, we have to celebrate the new year and celebrate a wonderful year at TFL. This time last year we had I think probably 50,000 subscribers,
I think it goes around that number, yeah.
and now thanks to you guys we have over
That's not a twist
150,000.
off.
Yeah, so we're not going to celebrate.
Just hit it against the table, Roman.
Tommy, I want you to chew into that with your molar.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Here we go. We'll have a shot of I'm not drinking all
All right, just a
Fill
little
it
bit.
all the way. No, all the way up to like there.
No.
No, okay, you're right. It is the daytime.
This was a potato yesterday. How about you, Nathan?
We have an opener.
Oh, we have an opener.
Oh crap! Now I
Let's see
gotta.
what-
Wait.
Oh,
Oh my god. That's like fire.
Oh, mud in there. He wants some skin there.
And you know, I went out of my way to buy sparkling cider because I didn't.
Who's driving me home?
I suspect I will be driving it home.
That was-
Or Andre, you and Andre could have an interesting
Oh, there you
ride
go.
home.
Yeah, we'll have to peel him off the sidewalk. Under no circumstances do we ever recommend drinking and
All
driving.
right, Andre, come on over here. We have one last question.
One last question.
Yeah, come on over here. What's the question, Emmy?
Andre, do you speak English?
Да, я могу говорить, да.
There
There it is.
you have it. Cheers
На здоровье.
to everybody. Happy New Year.
Здоровья.
And thank you for watching, and thank you for a really wonderful year.
You guys have helped a
You
lot.
guys are great. Ciao.
Adios.
Спасибо.
So, do you guys want to see me and Nathan sitting forlornly by the side of the road looking at a smoking communist-era Tatra in the town of Plzeň? Because, Nathan, that's what's going to happen if we can get funding for our Prague to Pebble Beach drive.
Well, Plzeň's not so bad. I mean, that's where the beer comes from, right?
Yes, that is where the beer comes from.
Oh, shucks.
But the point is, we're trying to get this great project off the ground, and we need your help because we want to take you along the way. We're trying to tell the untold story of Tatra. We're trying to have a grand and epic adventure. And we're going to try to actually get to Pebble Beach in a Tatra, which this year they're having a class for. Go figure.
That's right. And if you guys do donate, you can be part of this. You can actually have some stuff put on the car. And if you donate enough, you can actually ride in the car.
Yeah, and you could see us sitting by the side of the road wondering what the heck were we thinking when we came up with this crazy idea.
He came up with the idea.
All right, Nathan, so if our fine and generous subscribers and viewers want to get involved in this, well, quite frankly, dubious adventure, how do they do that?
You can go to TFLcar.com and you can click on the link, which is right there, Prague to Pebble, or click right here.
Click right there and help us achieve what we know will be an epic adventure.
It certainly will be.